Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Free Hammers podcast. Been on a slight break last couple of weeks, mainly just due to trying to find time. Been really busy with work and stuff. Back to just me and Luke this week. Lee couldn't join us again, unfortunately, but it was nice to have him back for the last episode. But yeah, quite a lot has gone on since the last show. How we doing, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Like you say, mate, loads has gone on. Twitter beefs, balled in, balled out, marches, terrible transfer windows. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's still very toxic at the club, isn't it? We'll go into that more at the moment. As it's early in the video, mate, I'd like to make, on my behalf here, I'm not talking here, putting words in your mouth at all, but I'd like to go out there and say, for anyone out there on Twitter, Facebook, etc., that thinks that this channel, especially myself, is a balled-in person, I'd like to make it very clear now, I am balled out. I agree with what most other channels are saying, that probably a good chance this ball is not going anywhere. So if they're not going anywhere, they need to start doing some things right, and that's the whole point of this march that is going on the 10th, which, again, we'll go a bit more into later on in the show. I don't know whether you want to say anything, mate, in terms of where you stand.
Yeah, I'm actually planning on doing a whole video about it, to be honest, which hopefully I'll put out in a couple of days this week. But yeah, no, 100%. I think I've been saying for a while now anyway, to be honest, it's time for them to go. And it's just, like you say, mate, we'll probably go into it a bit more, but it's just got to the point now where it's just sick and tired of the lies and the broken promises. And they're just taking the fans for mugs. They're just taking us for idiots, and we're not. But yeah, like I say, I mean, we'll possibly touch on that in a little bit. And like I say, I've got a whole video planned to talk about it.
Let's start with positive, though, mate. As we always do, we always start with the most previous game. We won't talk about any of the other games early on. They've been and done now. But Watford, mate, fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. You know, we controlled a lot of that game. They did have some good spells of possession. They had a couple of early chances. I remember a header from a corner that Adrian saved well near post. But, mate, Marko Arnautovic, I've been making a comparison, and I heard Ryan say it on Post-Match Pint this week. For me, mate, he's dribbling is like Paolo Di Canio. That he has got that swagger that terrifies defenders. Absolutely terrifies them.
Yeah, he's incredible to watch. Like you said, I mean, some of the close control, that moment in the game where he basically run it into the box and run past like 5 players. Fantastic. Like you say, mate, very, very Paolo-esque. And he's got that attitude. He's got that arrogance that Paolo had. And it's amazing to see. Like, I knew, it's quite interesting. Obviously, you know, I don't watch other teams like I watch West Ham. I watch every West Ham game. And you don't really pay that much attention, especially a team like Stoke. But I knew Arnautovic was good. I didn't realise how good he was.
I didn't.
I knew he was a good player, but I didn't know he was that good.
Yeah, you know, like, he's one that when you play Stoke previously, you'd go, all right, yeah, him, Shaqiri, good players, watch out for him. But like you say, mate, nowhere near like the sort of performances he's been putting in the last sort of 2 to 3 months of his West Ham career. Yeah. But there was a point where he picked it up in midfield. He just flicked it up and carried on running. In fact, like, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, he's really, really a seriously talented player. And it'll be interesting to see going forward, you know, if he carries on that level of consistency. Unfortunately, he's going to be another one where in a year's time we're going to be talking about, all right, we're not going to be able to keep hold of him. But yeah, really, like, obviously delighted, fantastic to see. And like I said, I didn't realise just how good a player he was. It's interesting.
Incredibly strong as well. So strong.
Yeah, I don't think he ever had that level of consistency when he was playing for Stoke. It seemed like...
You think because he's loved, though, here? Do you think he's come here and that people have made a point in the press that David Moyes has gone, do you know what, mate? You come here, they will love you here because they love your sort of player. And there's that sort of, I don't know, galvanised him.
It's quite interesting, though.
He's allowed to be what he wants to be.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because one thing that surprised me was I don't know if you saw his interview on Match of the Day, and he was saying that people don't like me. And I was like, okay, he's talking about the press. And then I see an article the next day that was saying it was apparently aimed at the fans.
Yeah, sections of.
That really surprised me. I don't know. Obviously, when he first, like the start of the season, he wasn't playing great, and then obviously, you know, got sent off, was out for a bit, and he was getting slated by the fans. But for the last, 5-6 weeks, he's been loved by the fans. He's been getting all the praise there is. So
he's our best player.
Yeah, 100%. So I was quite surprised. It'd be a shame if he has got something against the fans there. But no, I mean, fantastic, brilliant player to watch. And he seems to have a good role in the side now. Moyes seems to have basically said to him, basically do what you want. He's given him a free role to just roam across that front line.
And what excites me, mate, is he was sort of playing in a 2, weren't he, with Hernandez? Like, he's found a partnership with Hernandez. Before Lanzini got injured, he had some excellent, little 1-2 touches with him. And it's very exciting for when Lanzini comes back as well. And I've got to give it to him. Mario looks a bit of a player as well.
Oh, yeah.
He does look a bit of a player, Mario, I've got to say.
He really does. He looks fantastic. It's unusual as well, especially at West Ham. It's unusual for a player to come in on loan from a different country and to hit the ground running. But he seems like he's done that. He really has just... I mean, that's a sign of a class player, you know. He's just slotted right into the team. Again, we'll probably talk about the window in a little bit, but he's a player that I'll be amazed if he's still here at the end of the season, unfortunately.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. If 26 million, he's got to be worth a bash, no?
If
whether they pay
it is 26 million, I thought it was in the 30s.
Oh, maybe. He was good, though. He does look tidy. Antonio put a good shift in as well. Was due one.
He got the assist, and it was his best game this season, probably. Interesting to see him playing on the left, kind of left wing back on the left wing. He's always said his favoured position is on that left. And I suppose moving on Arnautovic up front frees up that left side for him to play there. He's still got no brain. He's still technically abysmal. He's shocking. Like, all he did really, don't get me wrong, he's very, very effective at it. Yeah. But all he did was kick it and chase it. That's all he did. There was no real technique to it. But it was a good cross that he swung in for the goal. So yeah, you know, fair play to him. Good to see him. It's good to see him back in the team if he is going to contribute. Still questions around his attitude, you know, behind the scenes and things like that. But yeah, it was good to see him.
Last touch on players, Ginge as well. Ginge was unbelievable, just so calm, collected. And if he doesn't get a new contract, there'll be riots, I think, mate. He'd definitely give him 2 years. I'd give him at least 2, and then that would be him done. I think 2 years.
I would 100%. I would keep him in. I'd give him a contract, and I'd start sending him on his coaching courses if he's not already doing them.
Yeah,
and keep him around on the backroom stuff. I think it'd be a great addition, especially if you look at the team, the coaching staff that Moyes is building. A lot of ex-managers, a lot of very experienced people in the game, ex-pros in Stuart Pearce as well. I think Collins would add nicely to that team. So that's where I'd like to see him go. I'd hate to see him, you know, sold off and just sort of disappear for a few years.
Yeah. Yeah, mate. So that puts us 12th on 30 points. 11 games left. And we're still, though, mate, 4 points from relegation zone. We usually sum up the Prem at the end, but I think it's quite important to do it this week, right now, to be honest, as we're talking. Newcastle beat Manchester United 1-0. Huddersfield beat Bournemouth 4-1. The only result that really went for us is Liverpool beat Southampton 2-0. Obviously, Everton won 3-1. Swansea seemed rejuvenised, 1-0 win at Burnley. So we're still in it. We're still massively in it.
Yeah. It's and we've got a horrific run-in as well.
Yeah, Liverpool next.
So yeah, I mean, 100%. But the thing is yeah, we are still in it, but so are 10 other teams. So I mean, it's just so close. It's so tight. The league in general. I mean, yeah, we're that close. But then what are we? 5 points off 7th or something? 6 points.
Yeah, our goal difference is a lot better now as well. I think it's -11 now, and a couple of the teams down there are like -26s, -14s. Like, so we've got perhaps an extra point there as well to play with.
Yeah.
But what do you think? What do you think sort of the points tally will be this year? I see a thing on Sky Sports talking about, they saying about 38 points, I reckon, but I don't know.
It is just because it is so close. It could go either way. It could be really low, or it could be really high because it is so close. I think you're probably still looking at 40 points as a benchmark, to be honest.
So another 10 points for us.
I don't think we'll go down now. I don't. I think we've got more than enough about us to keep us safe, as long as we don't have any more ridiculous injuries.
I think we can put a run together anyway, like something like we haven't lost at home for 5 games, which is a good going. Before that, we was undefeated for like 7 games. A lot of draws. That's the only thing. If a couple of them draws or wins, we'd probably be safe now. But yeah. As well, looking at it, Arnie on 7 now with 3 assists, and Hernandez on 7, mate. Apparently, they've got more than Ronaldo and Benzema in this current league season.
There you go.
Together.
Arnautovic is what 7 goals, 2 assists or something in
3
assists in how many games? It's like 8 games or something, 9 games.
Yeah.
Fantastic, incredible.
It'd be nice if they both got on 10. Very rare that we get players that get over 10, so it'd be nice if they both go and get 3 more each.
Especially if you consider the amount of time both of them have been out of the team. I mean, Hernandez has only had, 5 starts?
Yeah.
If that. I mean, his goal return is fantastic. It's just finding that right team to play around him to get him in those positions.
I know we lost the game the week before, but his goal, Huddersfield, wasn't it? Or Brighton? What game was it?
Brighton,
yeah. A fantastic goal from Hernandez, wasn't it? When he sort of ran it into the box and shot. But he looks like he's rejuvenated now. Obviously, he come out and said that he wanted to move in the transfer window. And it looks like he's going to stick there now. And hopefully he does. I really hope that he pushes on and gets happy, and, and stays there beyond the summer. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in the summer? We're all going to be throwing question marks, etc., here, there and everywhere, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's the right time to move on to sort of transfers and bald, mate, in general. So the transfer window was a complete disgrace, really. Outs were Ayew, Saku, Oxford went back, then I think a couple of young boys went back as well.
Oxford went back out. Didn't Burke go back out on loan? Sabanovic went out.
I think Martinez has gone out again as well now, hasn't he?
Martinez, yep.
Yeah, go on, mate. In came obviously Jordan Hugill, and to be fair, came on, run about a bit, won a couple of headers in his few games. So I'm quite excited to see what he can do, to be honest. And obviously Mario coming, but I think the question that just keeps going round, mate, and round is, where is the money?
This is it, mate. Where's the money? I mean, it's just incredible when you look at how bare bones the team was. We were crying out for signings. We needed a defensive midfielder for the last 3-4 windows. All window we're linked with Dendoncker, and then it didn't get done. And then everyone's coming out in the press saying the reason it didn't get done was because they offered something stupid like 4 million up front. 4 million up front for a £20 million player. What are they playing at?
That's very highly rated as well.
I mean, they know that it wasn't going to be accepted, and this is what I'm saying about earlier with just the constant lies, and they think the Bald think the fans are stupid. I see it's good to see now as well. A lot of the press and a lot of the pundits have started catching on and picking up on it. And funny enough, I think it might have been Danny Murphy on TalkSport was saying, because Sullivan come out and said, we bid for this player but we didn't get him, we bid for that player, we didn't get him. Yeah. He's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You could bid for Messi and Ronaldo. So what? It doesn't matter who you bid for. It's who you sign. And we signed nobody. We weakened the team even further by getting rid of sending out a lot of the youth players back out on loan, selling Ayew. Saku wasn't playing. He's gone anyway. during the window, we had more injuries come on. Masuaku getting suspended.
Carroll out for the season.
We were just so light. Obiang out. And what did we bring in? We brought in nothing. We brought in João Mario, which, don't get me wrong, looks like a quality signing. He does look like a quality signing, but again, not really filling that position that we needed. And then we signed some no disrespect to Jordan Hugill, or I don't know how to pronounce his surname, and I hope he does fantastic for us and he's got my backing all the way. But let's be fair, no one's ever heard of him before we signed him.
Well, it's back to that thing, mate, of you can throw out all this stuff about John Joe Shelby is not this good, apparently, that he said he's crap or whatever. He controlled a game against Manchester United yesterday, if anyone watched that. And then you go and buy this unproven, when, again, it's those lies of we're not going to buy unproven players, we're going to buy proven players. Mm-hmm. And there's also, again, another player we signed, mate, Patrice Evra, on a free transfer this last couple of weeks. I'm sure there was a comment, we are not going to sign over 30s anymore.
The actual comment was we're going to be looking at players, and they're not going to be players that we're not going to be signing players in January that are 32 years old. They're going to be younger. And to be fair, we didn't sign him in January, and he's not 32. He's 36, and we signed him in February. But it's a joke. Don't get me wrong.
No disrespect to Evra. Evra is a good player.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure he will do well when he comes out. I assume he's going to play that sort of left centre back role. Yeah. I don't think he'll play left back.
Yeah, I'm. It's not. This is the thing. It's not a terrible signing. In fact, it's not even a bad signing. You know, it's a 6-month deal. There's no real risk. It's actually a pretty good signing. Massive experience. Be good in the dressing room. Apparently, within football, he's very popular. Very popular with other players. It's a good signing, but after what we needed, and after all the next level, and after we're going after this player, that player. It's just that, again, it's just the lies and the spin.
To the 30 million that David Moyes was supposed to be getting. When he signed on that day, he will get 30 million in the transfer window.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Where's that gone? Where's the money from IU? Well, I say where's the money from IU gone?
Millions they was gonna spend on Carvalho.
Yeah, where's the money they were going to spend on Carvalho? And it's the problem is things like the IU deal. We basically loaned him because we signed him for what, 24 million, yeah. But we only paid a certain amount up front, and then the rest was over the course of the contract.
Yeah.
And by selling him back to him, we probably just wrote off the debt. We didn't actually get any money from that sale, so we effectively loaned him. And I see a really good thing. Again, this is all just what's again against this wave of pressure against the board. Is we've basically sold our stadium, and now we're renting a stadium. We're selling all our players, and we're just bringing in loans. You know, we've got a manager on a 6-month contract. There's just again, I know I'm sort of coming away from the window, but it does come into it with everything being sold and all the rest of it. But it just looks like they're asset stripping the club. They're just selling anything of value.
They would have sold Andy Carroll, mate. If Andy Carroll 100%. Didn't get injured, Andy Carroll would have been gone.
100% Carroll would have been gone. And if Andy Carroll had gone to Chelsea for whatever stupid money they were saying, £30 million, none of that would have been reinvested. No. None of that would have been reinvested. You know, and depending on what happens this summer and the rest of this season, you wouldn't be surprised to see Lanzini go, Hernandez go. If they go, who's to say Arnautovic won't want to go as well?
That's right, mate. That's right. It's a big window for them this summer. It really is. Like, I'm already there. I'm already like, no, I can't deal with these geezers anymore. And all them you watch in the next few months, mate. Season ticket renewal season. Oh, you've got to renew your season ticket before the end of the season, which could still go either way. We could still get relegated. It could still not be confirmed. And then all those little smittings of rumours come out of, we're going to have this one, that one. And then if it flops off again, oh, mate, it's going to turn toxic. It's going to be toxic. Club accounts come out, mate, in the next sort of, I think it's about 6 weeks, I would say. Interesting reading they're going to be, mate. They're going to be very interesting reading. And I'm sure there is a West Ham fan out there that's a proper, sort of investigative sort of accountant. They've actually called something a forensic accountant. I'm sure they will find something there, and I'm sure it will come out.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I mean, totally agree, mate. It's a massive window. It's a massive summer for them. And to be honest, the best result for me is that they come under too much pressure and they decide they have to leave the club. I mean, Sullivan...
I can't see him leaving the club.
It depends, mate. It depends. I'd say I can't see it either. But if it starts getting to the point where...
They're definitely crapping themselves.
Oh, yeah. You know, the fact that Sullivan come out before the Watford game and he released that video...
Political video, I would say, call it.
8 minutes of nothing. 8 minutes of absolute waffle. The man talking nonsense. 8 minutes of literally...
What do you make of it then? Because he sort of touched on what I just mentioned there, mate, about the... Oh, people... I'm trying to do a Dave Sullivan impression now. People complain about names getting leaked, and they say that we say it to sell season tickets. For me, that's him sort of playing a double bluff there, where it's like you do that. It's obvious you do that.
Yeah, mate, that entire video was just not, it was waffle. It was nothing. It was rubbish. It was 8 minutes of him talking about, oh, I'm a fan for life and I went to this cup final and that cup final. Really? Did you, mate? That's funny. I thought he was Welsh. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's strange. Like you.
I want him, mate. I want him to do that interview with West Ham Fan TV. Do it.
No chance.
Do it. With, what?
No chance. He won't.
Yeah, I know, mate. And
he won't put himself in that position. And all it was, oh, you know, we didn't break promises. It was failed ambition.
Go away,
mate.
Go away.
Failed ambition because you wouldn't put your hand in your pocket. And this whole thing about what's being talked about now. And he said it in that interview about stepping away from transfers. Like, right, I'm going to step away from transfers and we're going to overhaul the scouting team and we're going to do this. And the manager's going to go and watch a player and we're not going to sign players based on name and we're going to scout them properly in this, that and the other. Identifying targets is not an issue. Every single window, every window we identify good targets. The issue is he won't pay for them. What difference does it make overhauling the scouting system and all the network?
You could have had Carvalho last summer. You could have had potentially Lacazette the summer before.
Yeah.
Didn't pay the money.
What's the point in having all put in completely overhauling the scouting when any time someone comes to you and says, right, there you go, Mr. Sullivan, we've scouted this player from this league. He's exactly what we need. He's in the position we need. The manager likes him. This is what it's going to cost to go and get him. It's going to cost £15 million. And then Sullivan bids 5. What's the use? The scouting's not the issue. It's paying the money for him.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. It's just, and all this, the one thing that annoys me the most about all this, what he keeps coming out with, is, oh, we need to unite. We need to be united. We need unity. We need to pull together. Mate, we are pulling together. We're pulling together against you. That's what it is. He's coming so close to blaming the fans.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you need to get behind the team. We don't want a bad season because of the unrest. It's got nothing to do with the team. No one's slagging off the team. No one's slagging off the manager. It's the board, and he can't stand that.
West Ham Fan TV, mate, made a really good point on Post-Match Point this week. I watched it this morning, saying about, you know, the 10 points that they delivered on, like, silly things like, oh, pint at half-time, blah, 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 blah. As Ryan said, mate, he goes, I couldn't care less about the pint at half-time. Yeah, you've delivered on that point, but I want my playing team front and centre of all your West Ham watching the team, innit? I want the team on the field playing better. Like, the experience of the stadium, yeah, okay, give and take that, but what's most important is those 11 geezers on that pitch.
He even said that, didn't he? In that interview, he was like, oh, they wanted shelves for beer at half-time, so we give them shelves.
Yeah, that's nothing. Well done. What's that?
Brilliant, mate.
$2,000?
Fantastic.
$10,000?
Got shelves to rest our beers on, so we should be happy.
No, I totally agree with that comment from Ryan. It's like, no, it's about what's on that pitch. It really is.
And what's on the pitch is that's the most frustrating thing. Is there's so much potential in that team. I really, really like David Moyes. I do. I think he's done a fantastic job since coming in, and I would love him to stay. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see him walk. Although the fact that Harry's been talking in the press this last couple of days about the whole scouting thing, and he said that that's come from himself. And I did have it up there a minute ago, and I've gone away from it. But there was couple of really good quotes. He was on the radio this morning, and he was basically saying that if he's going to stay, he needs to be assured that he's going to be allowed to build something at West Ham. That he's going to, if he identifies targets he wants, that he's going to actually get them. And that's the important thing. And if we backed him and we gave him that, I think we could do something.
Mate, I think we're only sort of 3 players away from being a good, steady top 7 club.
Well,
I really do.
Top 7's...
Top 8. Top 8.
Say
top 8
top,
club.
yeah.
Like a good, steady top 8 club. And, you know, like you sort of have that excitement of flirting around that Europa League. And, like, you might push to 4th and then drop down. But I don't think we're that far away. But, like you say, it's got to be backed. And it ain't going to be, we're selling Lanzini, we've bought 2 players in. No. And the problem is, if Lanzini goes, mate, they will sell him for peanuts.
Yeah.
They won't sit there. Like, Sigurdsson went for £50 million. Lanzini is worth more.
100%. Mate, 100%. I wouldn't, I'd be, for Lanzini, like you say, 50 million minimum, I'd be looking 60, 70 million for Lanzini. Yeah. But you know, if Liverpool come along and slap 35 million on the table...
He's gone.
Yeah,
He's gone.
That's it. See you later.
He's gone.
So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's a big... I want the ball gone. If they're not going to go, like you say, they need to... If they don't do what they're saying they're going to do...
Big money.
Yeah.
Big money.
If they don't do what they're saying they're going to do, if they do give Moyes a new contract and they do make Moyes all these promises, yeah, we are going to back you in the window. We're going to get you the players that you need. We're going to get you the players that you want. And then they don't do it, Moyes will probably walk.
Yeah, and that's. I was just about to say that to you, mate. The danger there is if he doesn't get backed and then he walks, a bit like sort of Kirbysley sort of did when he weren't backed, and it seems that Marco Silva sort of left the same way, and someone else left like that, didn't they? Who was it who left this summer? I can't remember who it was. Anyway, Benitez was very close to leaving as well. Then you're really in a mess. You are in a total mess then. But I can see it happening. I can genuinely see that.
I think if that, and this is trying to put a positive spin on it, the only positive is if that did happen, if in the summer we ended up selling the likes of Lanzini, we didn't bring any players in, Moyes walks, that's it. There's no way back from. There's no way back. That's it. The fans will burn the stadium down next year. Do you know what I mean? That'll be it. There'll be there's no return from that. So I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens. The thing is like you say, mate. If they're not going to go, we have to keep the pressure on them. We have to keep the pressure on them to make them do what they're saying. To make them put their hands in their pockets.
Yeah, it can't be tainted by that win. You know, the win was fantastic. We support the team. We want them to win, but we can't allow that to gloss over what they're doing. And
100%, the fans need, like I say, we need to keep the pressure on them. We need to let them know that they're not getting let off the hook. And like you say, mate, March coming up on March the 10th, that's a way for fans to show their support, to get involved. Believe me, if I weren't living in a different country, I'd be there. I would be there.
I'm going to try my best to get down there on a day.
I would be there 100%, and that's something that as fans we need to do. We need to get behind things like that and show them that we're not going to let them just take us for idiots, take us for mugs and walk all over us.
If I'm not there, you know, if Paul's not there, Lee's not there, trust me, we're there in spirit, believing everything that these people are saying, because we need to keep the club good. Do you know what I mean? Just one couple more things, mate. I know you might have some views on this as well. What do you make of the Slimani deal then, and why that broke down with your mate, Karen?
Am I even surprised? Of course not. No, of course I'm not surprised. Since day one, you know, she can't keep her mouth shut, and it's just a matter of time. And this is a thing as well. It seems like, well, there was a couple, weren't there? So there was Slimani, so Leicester basically refusing to deal with us because of Brady and her comments. And then you had was it Smolov? Was it the Russian guy who we were close to bringing in, and then we changed our mind and said no, we want him on a loan, and we offered rubbish money, and he turned around and apparently told his agent, kill the deal, if they're going to muck about, if they want me, they'll pay the money. My club deserves to be paid for my services. If they're going to muck about, kill the deal. And it's getting to the point where more and more players, agents, clubs are getting to the point where they're refusing to deal with us because of the shambles that is our lowball offers. Karen Brady running her mouth off in the press and on Twitter. She's just got no class, that woman. No class at all. Like, I saw a thing, it popped up, it must have popped up on these Mother Brown, someone mentioned it. But this just shows the class of this woman. Someone sent her a letter by mistake. It was supposed to be addressed to somebody else. It got sent to her by mistake. It was a private letter congratulating someone on a job, on a promotion. She published the letter on Twitter. That was a private correspondence to somebody that was sent to her in error, and she decided to publish that. That's the class of the woman. Like, she's got none. She's got none. She's just.
And the day she walks away from West Ham, mate, she will rip us to pieces.
Oh, of course she will. Of course she will. She can't stand West Ham. She hates West Ham. She hates the fans. It's interesting. She was active on Twitter the other day for the first time in a long time, answering the fans and talking about the Wi-Fi, saying, "Oh, we're sorry, we didn't get the Wi-Fi. We're trying to get it, but the operators won't do it." And it's like, why are you even coming out and talking now? Everyone knows my views on the woman. I can't stand her. I absolutely hate her, and I can't wait for the day she leaves the club.
Another good point from Post-Match Pint. Some great content this week, guys. That's why I keep quoting you. But they said about the Karen Brady thing, saying that if that was just your normal place of work and it was affecting deals, you'd be sacked or suspended. No? Yep. So what is this, like, constant loyalty towards this woman?
Oh, mate, she's probably got pages on pages of dirt on Sullivan. 100%, mate. Like, she's been working with him for years. She's got
years, I think. Yeah.
She has got them under. I'm telling you, mate. She's probably got so much dirt on them. It's unbelievable. Yeah. But I can't stand a woman. Can't stand a woman. I was going to say, mate, talking about people being sacked, obviously, again, we haven't mentioned it. I was
just going to touch on that, Tony Emery.
Yeah, Tony Emery's gone, and rightfully so.
How do these things leak, though? Like, again, it's totally wrong what the guys said and the way it's come out. But again, like, these people, like, are they thick? Like, these paper trails they leave. I'm not saying it's right what he's done or wrong what he's done, but it's like this paper trail.
There's literally
leak.
There's only two possible ways that's leaked, because there was only 3 people in that email. So there was Tony Emery, there was the agent, and there's a third member, an unknown board member, higher up the chain than Tony Emery. And the agent, Tony Emery didn't leak it, obviously. I don't think the agent would have leaked it, because then he's just not going to be able to do business with West Ham and possibly other clubs in future leaking that kind of material. So it's probably come from the club, and it's the timing of it. The timing of it. Just when all the fans were starting to... It was right at the end of the transfer deadline day, right at the end of the window, just as all that momentum was building up about we ain't signed anyone, we're selling people, we ain't signing anyone, all of a sudden this gets leaked to take attention away.
Yeah, as an excuse as well.
Yeah.
It's an excuse, isn't it? Like, oh, right, this has come out, the Slimani thing, we can use that, why this one didn't sign it.
I reckon they threw him under the bus. Yeah, he had to go. You know, you can't run a club policy like that. It's obviously not true, because obviously we've got loads of African players at the club. We were looking at bringing in a couple more. The rumours are that email was about Alex Song coming to the club.
I'm just going to mention him, actually, mate. He's in my notes there on free transfers, actually. I would have him. I'd have him back.
I would. The thing is, I would take him back on a free on reasonable wages, but he hasn't played football for a long time now.
Yeah.
And he never really recovered after he had that really bad injury while playing for us. Nasri, I would probably take off the free transfers list again if you could get him on decent wages. But yeah, I don't know. So now we're going to have a new head of recruitment coming in. But I don't know. Again, it just stinks. That whole situation feels like it came from the board. And the thing is Tony Emery's been sacked. That obviously came from higher up. If that was a policy, That obviously came from higher up. Apparently there was someone higher up on board level in that email. Why haven't they been sacked?
Yeah. Big cover-up.
Exactly.
Potentially, yeah. I'm not going to talk about Liverpool because we'll save that for next week's show. We haven't got a game this weekend, obviously FA Cup night, so we get a good rest for players to come back, etc. A few questions that build up, obviously, over the 2 weeks because we were planning to do a show and then we cancelled twice. So I'm going to go through any questions that are sort of relevant, basically, from over the 2 weeks. Ken Elfield says, do you believe David Gold gets unfair criticism being associated with David Sullivan, and what is his role?
I mean, you can take this two ways. David Gold. David Gold is either very, very, very clever, or he is just an 80-something old man.
Well, he's the one who made the comment about the Youth Academy, if you want to say that, which was an unnecessary comment. Whether it's true or not, about whether these players are good enough, obviously proven slightly wrong because Declan Rice has come through this year fantastically. But there's no need for that comment.
No.
There was no need for that.
I think David Gold is an old boy. I don't think he's got really anything to do with the running of the club. A lot of his shares he sold to David Sullivan. He doesn't own as much in the club anymore. I don't think he's really got much to do with anything these days, to be honest.
Sleeping investor sort of thing.
Yeah, his money's in the club. And like I say, I don't think he has any real say in anything. I'm probably a bit unkind to him, but every other week I sort of say I don't think he even knows what day it is most of the time. He don't know who our players are. You know, he gets their names mixed up. He tweets out pictures of the wrong person. He's not like the sharpest tool in the box. And I just think he is genuinely just an old boy who
also, mate, sorry, just another thing on him to go in the negative box. He is the one with the infamous video of if the seats are not this close. It was him that's made that video, so yeah.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not exonerating him completely. I'm not saying
I'm just.
I'm not saying he's without fault. And obviously, yeah, you know, he was one of the people that come in and completely changed the club from top to bottom. So yeah, he does deserve stick from that, but I do think it's very, very much Sullivan driven, particularly now. I don't think he's really got anything to do with it anymore.
Yeah. Adam Leverbarrow, a possible reason as to why the club haven't spent any money. What exactly do the board have up their sleeve for next season? Tuchel, Ancelotti, 200 million transfer kitty. Wishful thinking, I think, mate.
I think that's a nice way of putting it. Wishful thinking. Yeah. Yeah. No. Why no money? What would be the purpose of that? What would be the purpose of saving it? They, not being funny, mate, but that's the sort of thing they say every year. Oh, there's no value in January. We're saving it for the summer. Oh, we can't buy in the summer based off of someone in a World Cup campaign. Oh, we'll wait till next window. Oh, the manager might not be here, so. Those kind of excuses are the excuses they've been trotting out every single year.
Yeah, there's none left now.
And nothing against you, mate, asking the question, but it's exactly things like that, and it's fans believing those lies, which is why we've got to where we are. You know, it's nonsense. It's the no, there's no value. We'll spend it in the summer, and then the money don't come. You know, where's the money gone? That's the question, isn't it? Where's the money gone?
Andy Smith, do you think the club are or should be looking at some of the free agents to bring in when the transfer window is closed? Obviously, Patrice Evra's come in. Just sort of spoke about Alex Song. Another one, mate, I quite liked him at his time at West Ham. I noticed he was a free agent as well, was Nocerino.
Nocerino. Do you know who else is on the list, mate? Diamanti.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So we could have a right old reunion.
Reunion, yeah. Diamanti, not for me. You know, when he was there, he was all right, but he listen, one kick and he was out of the game. Like he didn't fancy it at all. Any of the physical stuff, and he popped up with a couple of free kicks every now and then. Sorry, mate, I didn't get your name there, but it says, what is your opinion of David Gold as he seems to have minimal role in the way the club is compared? Sort of just answered that for you. Jack, Obiang is out for the season. Ayew sold. Arnie slowly coming back. Masuaku, Lanzini out. We signed one midfielder and one forward from Plymouth. We should have had Slim Arnie, but that deal didn't go through because of Brady. They must get rid of her at very least and plough some money in. What do you guys think? Well, again, touched on that. She needs to go.
Yeah, I agree with all of that, mate.
That would buy some, what's the word?
Goodwill?
Like some goodwill back from the fans, I think, if they got rid of her.
I think it's too little too late. I don't think there's anything they can do now, really, to be honest, to get the fans back. I think they've gone past that point of no return.
Yeah, no, I know that as well, and I'm a balled out person sitting here, but that would buy them that little bit more time, no?
I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. No. I don't think there's anything they could do now, unless they turn around and like spent 200, 300 million on buying the stadium and knocking it down and starting again. I don't think there's anything they can do now. You know, but like, yeah, Brady. I can't swear. You know, Brady is a, you know, but at the end of the day, she's not the one that's ruined the club. She's not the one that's refusing to spend money on players. She's bad press and she's bad PR, but she's not the one responsible for putting the team on the pitch. So getting rid of her, yeah, I'd love to see it, and I can't wait till the day she's out of the club, but that's not really going to change anything.
No. Ken, again, what would you suggest to impact on our board regarding the discontent in running of the club? For me, a delayed into the ground or selected walkout time before the end of the game would be a good idea.
I like that idea.
Like
well,
turning up late or leaving early.
It's yes and no, because you don't want to affect the team on the pitch, and you do need to make it clear that it's aimed at the board and not the players. And I know the players, you know, if everyone left with half hour to go, that's not going to do great for the team morale or anything like that. What about like a sit-in? You know what I mean? What if everyone refused to leave after the game?
Yeah.
If everyone just refused to leave after the game and stayed there and sang balled out songs for an hour after the game.
Remember when we did it, mate, with
Terry Brown.
When Brown was there, weren't we? And we sat just in the Upton Park walkway, didn't we? There was a good lot of people
in the car park underneath the director's lounge, yeah.
Yeah, we all just sat there and no one moved.
You know, that's something like that I'd like to see. But yeah, 100%, we should be doing things like that.
Yeah. Why don't they all go in the walkways of the Olympic Stadium and just sit there? Don't even sit in your seat. Go down from your seat.
The thing is, the reason like I think it'd be good to stay in your seats is because, especially if they did it on a televised game.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? Get it on TV, get the pressure in. And it just needs to be kept up. The chants against the ball, the songs against the ball, keep them going at every game, every home game, every away game. Keep them going every time we're on telly. Keep them going. Keep the banners up. Great to see again the balled out banners on TV and making it into the paper and making it onto Match of the Day. Keep them up. Keep them going. Things like the march. Get behind the march. You know, we need to be doing anything. I think the biggest thing is keeping the pressure on them in the public eye. That's the important thing. Doing it when we're on telly. Doing it when the press are taking note, because that's where it's really going to affect them. But yeah, I quite like the idea of that, like a sit-in, pretty much at the end of a game. I don't know about leaving early or turning up early, because, like I say, you don't want to affect the team on the pitch. But still, you know, that's what I think.
Yeah. Tom Ahern, was the lack of transfer activity in the winter a surprise to you, lad, or was it what you've grown to expect from the board? I personally have no faith in Brady, Gold and Sullivan trio, and what was delivered was exactly what I expected. Cheers for the pod, lads. Well, if you would have seen the pod we did with Lee sort of week before the transfer window closed, we said it would not surprise us if we signed no one, and really we didn't.
Yeah, it didn't surprise me. I mean, we needed to spend. There wasn't a time more where we needed to spend. Moyes spent the entire month saying that we needed more players. But then, like you say, mate, on the podcast we did, I've been saying it for weeks. We won't sign anyone. We'll sign nobody. And we didn't.
Ben Tor, will Gold and Sullivan leave West Ham? In my opinion, not anytime soon. I'll be honest.
I don't know. I think if it gets too much from, if the pressure from the fans and in the press builds up and it gets to the point where it's too much, then I can see him going. Yeah,
it's interesting. It's very interesting to see where that's going to play out.
I mean, there are a couple of old boys, you know what I mean? Do they really need that in their life?
SB, how much mayhem would you say is acceptable at our club? I think SB, mate. I think we're nearly there. We're nearly there in terms of how much more we can take.
I don't know. I took that question another way there.
Yeah.
Too much mayhem.
I don't get it.
Too much mayhem. Tony Emery.
Oh. Yeah.
I don't know, mate. How much mayhem's acceptable?
Arthur
Sacco and a Patrice Evra kicking the fans.
Yeah. Sarif, this is a fantastic question. This is a fantastic question. Which club in the Premier League, 8th to 20th, would you like to swap owners with if that was possible? 8th to 20th. And I think that is a very good question.
I mean, if you look at the likes of clubs that have got serious backing and money, the likes of, I mean, you'd say, if you look at someone like Southampton, you know, they've got a lot of money, they've got a fantastic youth academy, but they are very prone to selling their best players. So, I mean, that's not brilliant. The likes of Leicester, again, incredibly rich club, massive turnover of managers though. So I don't know if that's something. I don't know. What do you think, mate?
That question come in, mate, about 2 weeks ago, and I've been sitting there. You know, I proper had a look like you're going around through like Palace, Bournemouth, and all like that. And it's a bloody hard question. It's a really, really tough question, that one. I have no answer.
If you look at your likes of Palace, is your man still involved at Palace? What was his name? The guy who wanted to buy us.
No, I don't think so. I'm not 100%. But, you know, just someone that, you know, stay away from the press, spend some money. Like the Leicester guys, I know you say about the manager turnover, yeah, that's bad. You know, they're still well up there, competing. They're probably never going to win the league again. But they've got themselves now to hopefully a stability where they can sort of sit around 7th to 8th every year now, which I'd love to be that. Paul Belcher, my PE coordinator from work, says, really good question again, where will West Ham be in 2020 if the ball don't go, and will you still be supporting West Ham?
Well, the second part of that is very easy to answer. Obviously, we're always going to support West Ham wherever we're playing. Whatever team, manager, owners, division, we're always going to be West Ham fans. That's just like, you can't change that. That's just how it is. But where we're going to be in 2020, if they don't go and they carry on where we are, we'll probably be in the Championship.
Yeah, I can see an Aston Villa sort of stripping of assets jobs going on. Do you see, like, I think in regards to that question with the, will you still be supporting West Ham, is he was sort of half hinting. I spoke to him in work the day after actually, and he was saying, do you see a possibility of a, like, you know, like a MK Don sort of thing going on where like an AFC West Ham was created by like about 2020?
No, I can't see it.
No. Cool. Okay, Matthew Gowdy, regarding our inability to buy players that the manager needs, i.e. CDM, do you think our board is stripping our assets? Club thus maximising their profits when they sell. Yeah,
that's
basically.
I mean, we said it, like, you know, we were talking during the transfer window, and that's the only possible reason I can see. You know, are they selling all their sellable assets to try and make the books look as good as possible for selling the club? Are they trying to take as much money out of the club as they can before they leave? To me, that seems the only explanation. I don't understand what else they could possibly be doing. I really don't. I don't understand what else they could be doing. And I hope that is the case, because if it is, it means they'll be gone soon.
Yeah. Kev from Facebook. So the transfer window is shut. I'm not really surprised about what has gone on. My question is, would you take relegation if it meant these three stooges left the club? I've never felt so low as a West Ham fan. I've supported this club for 50 years and have seen everything. But the last 2 years have really had me in the pits in terms of identity of the club. Very powerful question, that. No, I wouldn't take relegation. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. because I think it just leaves us absolutely disaster if we go down, even with the 3 gone.
Do you think? I don't know. I mean, if it's not as yeah, there's a lot. It depends who. I suppose the question is, it depends who would come in to take us over. But if we went down and we got taken over, and it put us in a decent position to come straight back up, and then, you know, build on that, that could only be a good thing. It's not like we've never been relegated before.
How many times can we keep rebuilding though? And seeing big boy players go and leave?
I think the key to that question, you know, we've spoke about it a few times before in this show about being relegated, and we've said, you know, if we go down, we could see us really struggling to get back up and falling off and falling down the leagues. Yeah. But that's if the owners stay. If a new owner came in, as long as they were the right owners, as long as they came in, they put money into the team and they backed the club, then I think that could be, I'd be fine with that. Yeah, I would take relegation to get rid of them. But it does depend on who comes in. Who's to say? I mean, it's impossible to know. We could get rid of them and then someone worse could come in and we do fall away. You know, you don't know. It's very difficult.
Ken, again, how do you feel about the Real West Ham Fan Action Group, and would you join forces in a demo against the Bull? Well, we've answered that already. Listen, if I can make it on the day, I'll be there. And as Paul said, if he could have come over from Belfast that day, he definitely would have. Sarif again. If relegation does happen to us this season, injury list being on all that at the moment, do you have faith in the Bull getting us back up in one go?
No.
Yeah. No?
The Bull getting us back up.
It's Bull, yeah. I don't have faith in the Bull. I have faith in Moyes to do it.
That literally just what I was just saying now. I think under this current board, I think if we went down, I mean, it's so difficult because they would need to be in the Premier League and they would need to really do everything they can to try and get us there. I don't know.
Sarah, again, how many years do you guys think the Gold and Sullivan have before they sell the club?
Depends. It depends. Like I say, if the fan pressure keeps up, I think they'll be gone sooner than later. Otherwise, without all this fan pressure, they probably would stay and hand the club over to their kids, unless we got a silly offer in. But yeah, I think if with all this fan pressure and now the media is starting to get on the back of it as well, I think if this just keeps ramping up and up, I think they'll be gone sooner rather than later. I think the cracks are there. The cracks are starting to appear. Sullivan's panicking.
There's no more lies they can tell.
Yeah, the lies in the spin is not working anymore. The fans are seeing through it.
Social media is so massive now that you can't have this spin anymore. You can't use these lies because these videos will just come back and bite you and be retweeted thousands of times.
See, that's it. They got away with it. The last few years, they got away with it. They come out with these lies in this spin and they got away with it, and they had some goodwill and some faith left from the fans, but that's gone. It's gone. It's got to the, like I say, I think it's got to the point of no return now, and all that goodwill and all that leniency is gone. And I don't think there's a way back from that. I really don't.
Yeah, that's it for the questions. Last thing I want to mention, mate. We usually talk about sport around the world. Massive fight this weekend: Chris Eubank versus George Groves. Just wanted to have a little sort of 2 minutes, little chat about that. I'm really excited. This is a big one, a big fight, and I can't wait to watch it. To be honest, on Saturday.
Yeah, it'd be good. I can't stand Eubank. Can't stand his dad. So I hope he gets knocked out.
Good fighter, very good fighter though. I don't like the geezer at all, but he's vicious. He's nasty. He's got some lovely uppercuts on him. But I would love to see Groves clock him, and I think a lot of people underestimate how powerful Groves actually is. A good point made by Johnny Nelson. To actually be able to clock Kyle Froch with one punch, you got a good dig. I know he lost that fight, but he clocked him first round as well. So, yeah, I really hope Groves wins and goes on, and wins that middleweight tournament, because that's a fantastic division, that middleweight division as well, the super middleweight division. But yeah, it's a good test for Eubank as well. And listen, I don't like the guy, but I think if he comes through this fight, I won't say I like him, but I will certainly say, yeah, he has got a bit about him now. No?
I don't, it's the same as you with Amir Khan, mate. you just don't like him, you won't give him credit, and that's that.
Yeah, but he is terrible.
He's not though, is he?
Every time he stepped in with Big Boy, he's gone. Bang.
He's
Sleeping. He's not like survived the 12 and lost. He's sleeping. Listen, it's a great division. Boxing is definitely a second passion of both of us. That is it for this week, guys. Really sorry that it took so long for episode 70 to come out, between 69 and 70. But thank you for staying loyal. Thank you for not unsubscribing. You know, we try to get a video at least once a week because we like the news to build up. You know, let all the other guys do all their bits and bobs with their previews and stuff like that. We like to just sum it all up and talk about it. Till next week, yeah, we should be back next week with a preview of the Liverpool game and any news that might have kicked off between now and then. Come on, you guys. Keep believing, you know, 3-4 more wins, I think we'll be safe. Until then, let's go.
Cheers.